Progress.
Good morning. Welcome everyone here to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission. Today is Wednesday, October 16th of 2024, and it is 9:10 a.m. I don't believe we have anyone for public comment. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That being said, if you, one of you gentlemen would like to begin with the motion.
Upon review of the minutes of September 18, 2024, as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, I make a motion that we waive the reading and approve as presented.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve unless otherwise noted.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by the various departmental offices, the Commission will take the appropriate action deemed necessary.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. For terms of office expiring this morning, we do have actually two on the Parks and Recreation Commission. One got slipped off. We have the unexpired term of Kathleen Curry, which expired October 15th. So we need to, no, it will, I'm sorry, it will expire October 15th of 2026. And then a lot of the other, second one is on here. We have two vacancies, right, Commissioner?
Yep. Yeah, I've got a couple folks supposed to show up tomorrow night.
Okay.
We'll slide them in there if they enjoy what they see.
Okay, so there's the other vacancy, a term of office expiring October 15th, 2024. So they would just be appointed to a new term in its entirety.
Yes, sir.
You don't have anyone at this time?
No, just the two that are supposed to show up.
Okay.
Yep.
Up next, we do have the Nicholas County Building Commission. We have the position of Mr. W.D. Smith, term of office expiring October 17th, 2024, and this is a 5-year term.
I don't have anybody yet.
I don't have any recommendations one way or the other to see if we have any other interest perhaps.
Yeah.
Is there any,
This one.
what is it?
I'll work on this.
Okay, is there any objection to tabling that?
No.
Hearing none, that will be tabled, and the airport authority is still pending as well, some stuff from the FAA. That being said, good morning, Mary Ann. Glad to have you here this morning. We have Miss Mary Ann Taylor, the assistant to Mayor Schaefer of the city of Summersville. And this is regarding the Homeless Commission with an update. So thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Brad.
Here, I can pass it down. Thank you.
So, good morning again,
Morning.
and thank you for your time this morning. It's a privilege for me to report on the progress and insights of the Homeless Commission. So I want to give you a little bit of background on how this all came about. So the Homeless Commission was established in a response to Mayor Schaefer's recognition of the urgent need to address the increasing homeless population in the county. The proactive step emphasized our community's commitment to tackling this pressing issue. The commission is currently a collective effort of 25 volunteers that are community members, church leaders, members of nonprofit organizations. Councilman Jim Epling and I are the city representatives on the commission. And I do want to say that we did not have to recruit any member to this commission. Once Mayor Schaefer made an announcement at a council meeting, we had 25 people who called and expressed an interest enthusiastically to serve on the commission. So we spent the first few months in an education session where we learned about different definitions of homelessness, from tent cities to couch surfers to living in cars, having no substantial housing. And then we brought in a guest speaker. Her name was Darlene Newsom. She was from Arizona. She has 40-plus years of experience. So she came and spent a few days with us and shared a lot of her knowledge, which was very helpful to us. Also, we learned, and I'm sure you all know about the point-in-time count. So we learned about the point-in-time count. Point-in-time is a count that's required, I believe, every year. It's one day in January. And Continuums of Care conduct an annual count and go out and try to count, how many people are in shelters, how many people are not in shelters, and try to come up with a number of homeless people. It's very difficult to get an accurate number of homeless people in the state, in the county itself, because one of the reasons is because there are so many different definitions of homelessness. According to the point-in-time survey that was done in January of 2023, it records 1,416 homeless people documented in West Virginia. Now, if you read that report, you will see that it's stated multiple times that they expect this number is likely much higher. And it's basically due to the difficulty of being able to count the population. So I'm happy to report that after we've gone through all these reports and education, that we're ready to start our first initiative. And our first initiative is a resource fair. It's going to be October 31st from 11 to 2 at the Family Life Center at the Summersville Baptist Church. And at this event, we plan to have a hot meal ready, recovery services, healthcare services, mental health services, veterans services, hygiene needs, haircuts, food bags, options for laundry services, clothing, and blankets. There's also going to be kid-friendly bags if anyone brings some children with them. We'll have kid-friendly hygiene bags and activity bags. We also plan to have peer leaders to be there that will be talking to those that attend so that we can learn of additional needs that we can assist them with at the next event. MTA is on board to help us out, so they are going to be providing transportation to outlying areas. They will do a pickup at Richwood City Hall at 10 a.m., Craigsville U-Save at 10:30, Mount Nebo U-Save at 10:15, Birch River Go-Mart at 10:30, and Summersville Merchants Walk parking lot at the Big Lots end at 10:45. Then MTA will come back to the Baptist Church and pick everyone up at 1:30 and take them back to those original stops. The city's also going to help with some transportation. They will provide a city vehicle and a driver during the 11 to 2 event in case we need to transport someone to do laundry at the laundromat or to the thrift shop to pick up some clothing, or because this is our first event, if we forgot something and we need a runner, the city's going to provide that transportation and driver for us. So one of the goals of the resource fair is to encourage collaboration and to learn more about the people in our community who may be facing these difficult circumstances. So this event's going to provide resources that our homeless population may not be aware of or may not be able to get to. So the resource fair is just the beginning to be able to help the need to hopefully over time get a level of sustaining daily needs and move these people beyond their current circumstances. I do want to mention a little bit about stigma. I know a lot of you all are aware there's always stigma for some group of people, but the stigma for homelessness, often causes negative stereotyping. And it leads to discrimination, it leads to social isolation of those people being affected. It can hinder access to essential services and support, making it more challenging for these people to rebuild their lives. So it's essential, it is very essential that we recognize and support those in need in a compassionate way, and we take a proactive step to provide these resources. So our initiative is going to focus on a hands-up approach where we aim to empower individuals by connecting them with necessary resources and services and support systems to help them rebuild their lives. By collaborating with local agencies and organizations, we're creating a comprehensive network that addresses the immediate needs of the homeless population. We also know that there are some members of the community that are pushing back on this initiative a little bit. They feel that this is only going to drive more homeless people to our community, and that it's going to make it easier for people to stay in that current situation. And I just want to emphasize that is not the purpose of this commission. We have had an outpour of organizations in the community who are going to be setting up at the resource fair to provide all the services that we feel from our education are needed resources. We need to leave the stigma behind, and we need to unite and support and uplift those in need. And the Homeless Commission truly believes that together we can turn compassion into action, and we can coordinate these resources for individuals and families and offer this hand-up approach to help in these circumstances. I mean, ultimately, a strong support system for the homeless reflects the values of empathy and responsibility. It also strengthens the social fabric of our community. So, I'm here today just to give you an update on this commission. I also invite the county to partner with the city so that we can have a united effort to combat homelessness. You each have a flyer, and Mayor Schaefer was very helpful as we were meeting about this, and he came up with the tagline, "Know someone, tell someone." So we're asking you to tell someone. I also have some extra flyers I'm going to leave with you. If you want to distribute them wherever you can distribute them, we're asking your help to distribute those so that we can get the word out. I do want to say we have the support of the Day Report Center, the probation office, and the family court, so we appreciate those organizations in the county. They've been very, very, very helpful. If you have suggestions of other county organizations that should be represented at the fair, please talk to them, have them to call me. If you have ideas or suggestions or proactive ideas for future events or future resource fairs, please share those with me. I also invite you to be represented on the commission. So if anyone would like to be represented on the commission and be informed of meetings and things that we're doing, we invite you to join with us on the commission. We really do believe that together we can create innovative solutions and provide vital support to those who are in need, which is only going to make our community stronger for everyone. The resource fair, I just want to let you know, the resource fair is not going to be a one and done. I mean, we are going to move forward with this. We don't know what's going to be the outcome of the resource fair. We feel it's going to be successful whether we help one person or 25 people. Someone's going to be helped that day. We're going to learn from that, and then we're going to move on to another event, whether it be another resource fair or maybe it'll be something else. But we do want the county, we want this to be a county-wide commission, so we do invite you to join the city. I also wanted to let you know I am going to be addressing Richwood City Council tomorrow evening also, so we want representatives from Richwood on the commission, and we want Richwood involved in the event also. So with that being said, thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for Ms. Taylor? I don't believe I have any either, but it sounds like a worthy cause, and I think y'all are getting off to a good start. I hope this resource fair goes well.
We think it will.
The New Beginnings will be doing their resource give out Saturday, so maybe if you give them some of these or what.
I'll leave these here if you want to pass them on to them. But we've had tremendous outpouring from all the churches and, like I said, so many organizations. We really have not had to go and recruit anything, which I think that does say something for the community. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And that being said, we now are joined by Mr. Mark LaRose. This is regarding the Iva Jean LaRose estate, file number 6980. Do you need to go get anybody from the office? Okay. Yes, sir.
Thanks for seeing me again. I
Yes,
was
sir.
trying to close my mom's estate, and I got a claim against it from a credit card company. And I thought it was taken care of years ago. My mom's estate's been for a while. And I've called, I've checked here, and they say it's still on the estate. And I've called the people several times. One number is disconnected. When I talk to the other two numbers and give them her credit card number, they don't have it on file anymore. And I can't get it closed until I get that off the estate. And I've called Mr. Tucker, and he told me to get on your all's agenda to see if you all can release it, whatever I need to do to try and close the estate.
When was the claim filed? It's been 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
She died in '04.
What happens typically is those things get sold and sold and sold, and eventually it gets lost. My recommendation is just to close it, order the estate closed.
Agreed.
Yeah, somebody probably bought debt for pennies on the dollar. and
It's
trying to
written
make-
off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's written off.
Absolutely.
It's been written off long ago. If they were concerned about it, they would have appeared before you all to enforce the claim.
Yes, sir.
Do you all have any information on that to disagree? Yeah. I have no problem.
Is everything else in order, Bob? And if so we can just vote to close.
If you vote to close it, I'll prepare an order and send it back over.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and, how much was it?
$2,000.
I'll make a motion that we do an order to close this estate.
That's the Iva Jean LaRose estate, file number 6980. Any discussion? Sorry. Now, with this being ordered to close, there's still a review period, this, that, and the other, whatever, or?
If they, it may pop up and they may come before, I doubt it. I doubt that you'll ever hear from it again.
Great.
But if they want to, they would have the right to come in and ask to reopen it and enforce a claim. But I would say the statute of limitations at this point ran out many years ago.
Sure.
On the enforcement of it.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions?
Sure.
Anything from the clerk? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry. So Mr. Tucker will prepare that order, and then we'll sign it when we get it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are joined this morning by Ms. Cassandra Lawson, Senior Project Specialist with Region 4 Planning and Development Council. We have a few things here to look at this morning, but first, as listed on the agenda, is the Craigsville Generator Project Scope Change Letter.
Let me share some supporting documentation with you, and then I'll walk you through the request. This is the
Thank you.
proposed letter with a referenced letter behind it. And the top letter is what's proposed for the commission. So when the Craigsville water treatment plant generator was installed, a last minute field change was made, and that is described in the letter on the second page. At some point, this will have Thrasher letterhead on it. This is from Thrasher. And they explain that during construction, the contractor located a ductile iron water line which feeds the wastewater treatment plant. So in lieu of instead of relocating the water line, they just moved the generator to the other side of the water treatment plant.
Gotcha.
And to be honest, we didn't know that. You know, it was just kind of something that came up in the field, it made the most sense and that sort of thing. But because this was funded with hazard mitigation grant program funds, they have asked that we come back and ask for a retroactive approval of that scope change. We don't anticipate it to be any issue, it's just jumping through the hoops and teeing it up with them for their records. And that's all this is.
Who applied for this project? The commission?
The commission sponsored the Craigsville PSD. It was kind of interesting, so the commission received the funds from FEMA. There's a 25% match that came from the West Virginia Infrastructure Jobs and Development Council that went directly to Craigsville PSD. So there was kind of a shared contribution.
The only request I would have is when we put the commission's name on a project like this, if a contractor and an engineer want to change something, it needs to be approved by this commission first.
Sure.
And that's not you by any means,
Yeah.
but
No, totally understand. I don't think anyone did it with malice or
Mhm.
bad intention or anything like that.
Right.
It just made sense in the field. But then it didn't carry over in the paperwork and it really should have been approved at that time.
yes.
And so once this is submitted and approved, then essentially the project is finished and we'll just close out. They just ask that we tee this up before close out.
Yeah. Are you still reading the letter?
Yes.
Okay, no, you're fine, you're fine. I don't want to rush you.
Said the benefits included voltage loss, reduced voltage loss, length of the cables, and generator now being in line of sight with water treatment plant security cameras. So we gained a couple things out of it. Maybe that's probably part of the deciding factors.
Yeah, I mean, it made a lot of sense to them in the field with the change. We just, didn't have the appropriate paperwork to back it up.
Absolutely.
And FEMA's very specific about, like, if you say you're gonna place it here, that's where you put it. If you're gonna move
Right.
it 2 feet, you need to request approval.
Right. That's
So,
what I want going forward.
Yeah. So this was a good learning experience. So we tell folks now, do not do anything
Right.
differently than what you said you were going to do
Please.
without approval.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Craigsville generator project scope change letter.
I have no problem with the letter, but I want to add, it says we apologize for the oversight in submitting this request. We apologize for the oversight of the contractor and engineer for the oversight of submitting this request. This wasn't the county commission. And while we're out going out for other grants, we don't need this put on our name.
So I can make that change and send it over, looking for Kathy.
She's
Is she
behind.
working?
She's hiding. She's hiding.
And I'll shoot that over if that's
Okay. Is your motion acceptable to that change in the letter? Any questions by the clerk? Hearing none, and is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. Up next, we do have the Hinkle Mountain Little Laurel Water Extension Project, resolution number 29.
This is
Morning, sir.
proposed
Thank you.
resolution.
I passed mine down to Gary. You keep it.
And so as referenced, this is resolution number 29 for the Hinkle Mountain Little Laurel Waterline Extension Project. This includes payment to the Minji Group, which was contract 1 on the project, and includes the final payment from the Nicholas County Commission ARPA funding. the amount of $3,186.03. It also included payment to Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems for Contract 3, that was for the water tank, and Region 4's administration. But of most interest to the commission is the final payment on Contract 1.
Okay. And then, project-wise, do we have water flowing? We have people putting taps on? Kind of where do we stand altogether like that?
Pretty much everything is essentially done, except the water plant. There's still some punch list work pending on the water plant. But contract 2 has already been paid out. This pays out contract 1 and 3, and so 4 is all that remains.
Very good.
And, the plan is operational. I don't know really the details of what the punch list work is, but they just won't release final retainage until they're 100% satisfied with the work that's been performed.
House cleaning items or something like that. Like maybe house cleaning items or something like that.
Yeah, something
Nothing that
like
prohibits
that.
the functionality.
Yeah.
Whatever come of the 10 million from the governor's office for the sewer plant over there?
It is still allocated to the sewer plant.
Is there any work been done on that? Have they engaged you all yet?
Yeah, they have been working on the design.
Okay.
A lot of the preliminary design is done. It is a $17.5 million project. So we have actively been working to leverage the additional funds that are needed. And we're down to a gap of about $2.5 million, and we have a couple applications pending for that. So we're very hopeful that within, the next 6 months or so, it'll be a fully funded project. But that $10 million, we are able to use that like on the front end to pay for design and permitting and all of that sort of thing. So it allowed the project to actually, kickstart and start moving forward.
Sure.
Yep.
Did they secure a final
Very good.
location on that?
I think it's just right behind.
That's what I thought.
On
So
that
that's actually
lot.
gonna be the final, okay.
That's
Some of
my
these hurdles
understanding.
gonna be like up the hill a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it will be a higher elevation because that was the whole point, was getting it out of the floodway and floodplain.
Yeah.
Also, just on the subject of Richwood, they opened bids and closed on their sewer system improvement project a couple of weeks ago, maybe last month. And so construction will begin on that later this month. And on November the 14th, they will officially close on the project that replaces the pooling dam behind the lodge. They will have to issue, they'll issue a notice to proceed and then a shutdown until around July of next year, because they can't do any active work in the river during the candy darter spawning season. So they won't actually be able to start construction until then.
So your
they-
environmental's cleared on that?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you know what they're gonna do? Are they replacing the dam with some other structure, similar?
I think a similar structure
Okay.
is
That's what
my
I figured.
understanding.
Okay.
But I know they have to do some temporary measures while they're replacing the dam. They have to have a temporary dam. I don't really quite fully understand the logistics of that. But I know it's all well thought out.
Are there any other questions on resolution number 29 for the Hinkle Mountain Little Laurel Water Extension Project? Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve resolution number 29 in the amount of $3,186.03 from the Nicholas County Commission ARPA Fund.
And that completes our funding commitment to this project. That being said, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. And then we also have here the Richwood sidewalks with an ARPA commitment request.
Yes. And this is almost all just a status. So in February 2023, the commission very graciously supported the city of Richwood's endeavor to replace the sidewalks within the community. And that project is actually getting ready to go to bid. So DOH will require that all of the matching funds be paid up front, and then DOH manages everything internally. Most typically, if we're providing a match for something, you're just kind of sending the match for whatever costs are incurred month by month. But DOH requires you send them the full amount, and they do everything in-house. So with the city getting ready well, with DOH getting ready to bid this project on behalf of the city, they will require that match to be paid up front. So if it's possible to have the commission just send that directly to the Division of Highways, that would be ideal.
At what point do they do it? They want the funds before they bid, after the bid's awarded?
I think before they take it to bid, because they want the confidence, that they have the funding. We have a sidewalk, we actually have a conference call on that today at 1. Let me find out for sure.
Okay. I'd like to know specifically when, and I mean, something in writing back from the DOH that this project is gonna proceed finally.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think, just my understanding is though, that was like the next step was to get them all the matching funds.
Okay.
But I'll get something.
And that's not doubting you, but it is doubting
Yeah.
the state. So, I would like that in writing for the commission.
Sure. Is an email from someone in DOH okay?
Oh, yeah, that's
Something like
fine.
that?
Yeah.
Okay,
As long as it's in letter.
sure. And
Ammunition is
that's it.
ammunition. So, how do y'all want to proceed on this one?
We don't want to do any action yet until she gets all the information.
That's what I recommend. Just to make sure we're all okay with that.
I say we take it out until then, where you're at.
Do you believe that would hold up?
It may. It's already committed, it's just actually releasing the funds. I don't know what the best way to go about it is.
Is there an
Releasement of
objection
funds
to,
contingent on
Yeah, a motion to release the funds contingent on satisfactory
supporting documentation.
supporting documentation back from the DOH.
Confirmation.
Like the commissioner said, they make their rules anyways, but at least we get something in writing to have a little bit of ammunition to make sure this project actually finally happens.
So they're gonna put this out to bid, and I'm assuming that they'll do that next spring when the weather starts to break?
My understanding was that it would go to bid, like maybe before the end of the year.
Just hate to see them up there in the
So are
middle
you
of
saying
December and
the
January.
bidding or the
for
construction?
Construction itself.
Construction and spring.
Construction probably would be spring, but
Okay.
then, a lot of people, or projects, they'll get them bid out in the winter so that the contractors have them lined up in the spring.
I just wanna make sure that somebody doesn't jump in to try to make some winter money, and also we've got some cracked sidewalks and stuff again, we're trying to, they would do their due diligence on that part.
It can be done, but it'll be bad on that street.
Right.
And
And it's
that,
only I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's only the upper sidewalk, not the lower
Correct.
sidewalk.
I'll make
and that
that.
call is at 1 if anyone's interested in joining.
That motion, we approve the $25,000 from the ARPA funds that we had committed, contingent upon the letter of receipt stating that the project will move forward. So our committed funds will be used appropriately and in a timely manner.
That motion's on the floor, and yeah, if you could send me information on that meeting, please.
Yeah, sure.
Any other discussion? Anything from legal counsel? That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion does carry. And Ms. Lawson, thank you for your time. Appreciate your hard work. And is there anything that I need, you're gonna send that updated letter over? Is there anything else we need signed?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. Also, just in follow-up to the last meeting, we had that budget amendment. It was in several different variations and wasn't properly on the agenda and that sort of thing. So there was a conference call between several internet service providers and engineers and folks across the state and the Department of Highways regarding the inspection fees, and that was the whole purpose of us having that budget amendment, was to move enough funding into the permits line item to, be able to pay for the permit. And it's our understanding that those fees may be waived for projects for a period of time, probably not indefinitely, but so I'll keep you posted on that.
That'd be good.
But just kind of a
Yeah.
follow-up from the last meeting. Okay,
Sounds like everybody's playing as a team.
I hope so.
That's what I'd like to see.
Great. Forward progress.
And until they do that, I want it all in writing.
Great.
All right, appreciate your time.
Anything else? Thank you, Matt,
Thanks.
for your time.
Thank you. Oh, stay warm.
Now we are joined by the honorable, highly regarded, and distinguished assessor of
No, it's
Nicholas
not
County.
John's turn.
Huh?
It's not John's turn.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's turning. No, yeah, Assessor Ernie Dennison and
You don't have
Assessor.
Ernie around much longer to abuse. Let me think that.
That's
So we better get it all in.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, you
It's
better
gonna
get
take
it all
about an
in
hour
now,
here.
guys.
Betty, I hope you're not in a
Because we're gonna be
hurry.
all alone after
Yeah.
the first of the year.
We are joined by
That's why we're gonna
Assessor-elect Betty Griffin also here. And this is regarding Ariel County flyover, state bid dollar amount.
Okay, this project's been in discussion for over a year, but previously, when we did in 2018, the 9/11 and the assessor's office split the cost for this flyover. And at that time, I will point out, it was supposed to be a three-way split, okay? But the sheriff's office did not, they lost funding or whatever reason. So then on 9/11, the assessor's office paid for this. Portion was paid by the assessor's office was from the 2% fund. This flyover is very valuable to the county, period. Not just to the assessor, 9/11, or the sheriff, but also to the public. We have a lot of people that view West Virginia Property Viewer, West Virginia map, and it takes that information or whatever that they have to find out. With that being said, last year we brought it, I had, the money that any money that I would have had was spent for 2 automobiles to replace in my office, and so therefore no money was available. I got in earlier this week, I was contacted by Craig Fry, who's with Thrasher. Thrasher got the
We talked to
bid.
Thrasher about getting us pricing.
Okay.
Thrasher got the state contract for this flyover, so therefore you do not have to go with the bidding process, it's through the state. You have a cost reduction because of them having the bids statewide. Nicholas County's cost would be, for this flyover, would be, and it should be on 4-inch, not 12, not 6, you can't see it. 3 would be wonderful, but it adds to the cost about $19,000. 4-inch would be $50,358.
Better than the last one.
66,000 was the last, it's
Yeah.
been 18.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 6 years ago, $16,000. But somehow, some way, this needs done. Because that's how long it's been outdated. And we use it with the field guys constantly. It's just good to have. They use it with their 9/11 addressing. Somehow, some way, we're gonna have to figure out how to get this done. If the money's available, however we can work it out, the flyover will happen in the spring. Project with all the information on the computers and everything will be available late summer next year. But then it'll all be on there and you'll be caught up. Actually, it should be done every no more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Too much changes.
Yeah. We're on year 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
How much of that amount is your office capable of contributing?
that is what I'm not sure of. I'm not going to eat half of it. I'll come up with some money with the approval of Betty Griffith, the incoming assessor.
Wake
But
up back here. You're spending money.
we eat the cost on it the last time, and I feel that, it wasn't fair. Everybody's benefiting from it. It's not fair. It's not fair for the first one we had in 2010. I paid for it. Total cost $77,000 in 10.
Would there be any savings, I guess if we could talk to Thrasher about that, but is if we joined with, say, Greenbrier, Clay, Fayette, and they could fly,
No,
they wouldn't.
Just county by county.
I didn't make the little printout because y'all
Sure, if I
got
just
so
look at
much
that.
paper anyway. But if you do, I'll get a copy and give it to Patty and you can look over the cost. But they did a set rate on how much per square mile $77 a square mile. And they're just getting, the reason though you need to get on this, the counties are gonna join in, then you're gonna be left out of the flyover this spring because they have too many people, too many counties to cover.
And I view that as an investment back into the county because of the tax rate, or basically the taxes we collect on new structures, additional structures, expansions and things like that. So it's an investment.
Plus too, the money that, for this project is like tax dollar money. The public does use this.
Right. I do.
It's very,
Oh, yeah, I do
it's very
too.
valuable. I mean,
Every real estate person in the state does.
I probably use it daily.
Yeah.
And for what John and them's got going on with that 9/11 addressing and stuff, plus the FAR fee that's
Yeah.
on top of it, which, and, you know, I'm glad to see that you're all working vigorously to get that straightened out. 'Cause they come out yesterday.
You got any calls yet?
I got visitors.
We have.
Yeah,
I got emails.
they come in. I've had 4 or 5 yesterday on them. But that right there, if we could get that, we need to do it. We talked about it long enough. We just need to figure out.
What's your proposal?
what the
I've
money
looked
is.
at the other counties, I mean, size-wise, it's, the whole county, the whole state is comparable. I mean, you know.
It's not gonna
with the
get no
larger counties,
cheaper, not
smaller
for
counties.
$50,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna go below the 4-inch, cause that's what we got now.
And just a question, is that just imagery, or does that also help you lay your tax map over?
Now, the tax map overlays a mess
Okay,
on the property lines. Don't go
Yes.
by it. You're contacted by it on tax map. Like I said, tax map's one system, flyover's another. Flyover's accurate, so tax map's overlaid on it. Until you have a survey of every parcel in one starting point, it's not gonna
it's
line
just gonna
up
shift.
exactly.
Right.
But they don't hold up in court anyway. But
What's your proposal?
I wanna know how many people's gonna be using it and how many wants to be in on it. And then they should come up with some money. If there's 4 of us, we know it's a quarter each. You know, if there's 2 of us and there's a way I could block it and have to pay half, I'll block it. Yeah, I know I'm getting a bad attitude, guys, I really am. But yeah, fair's fair, you know, just fair. Everybody's got the money and they gotta do what's what and run their offices, and I understand. But it shouldn't fall over on another office to take care of another office. It shouldn't happen. You know, I don't come up here, I'll show you all my budget. I don't come back and ask for additional monies. I guess I would if something major had happened, but if that's what I show you, that's what you give me, we got an agreement for another year. But I just think it's a concern that I have, that I'd like to take care of before I leave.
Understood.
Sure.
You know, I want everything right before I leave.
Would you do a quarter and we figure out the rest?
Yeah.
It'd be 12.5 each.
Yes.
I'm gonna do a revision on the budget.
You have room for 12.5?
Should.
12.5's
What I'm-
fair.
What I'm thinking, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5. Is that what you were saying? That's the county now, yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement with Ms. Griffin?
I don't think you should have to pay any.
Why not? You'll deal with them next year. I'm just trying to get this.
So what would be your proposal then?
Well, some of these agencies like Digital Courthouse, to be quite honest, ought to pay part of this because they collect a fee and they use it for, you know.
Actually, what's happening is we're supplying the flyover. It's going on WB map and everybody's getting used it for free.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
They're in
These
the charge.
agencies are collecting money for using their service. We ought to get a cut of that since we're paying for it.
The only way you do is do something within your power to make it mandatory that if anything that's used with Nicholas County shall be charged so much a year or whatever. Then you gotta enforce it.
Probably a statewide legislation thing.
Yeah, that's a
That's
nice
not a bad
thought.
idea. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
We probably have to take a statewide initiative though versus just Nicholas.
but, you know, I just, it's just something that's very valuable that's now almost mandatory that you have it because we're getting locked gates. You know, everybody's all mad because we're trespassing. We got people that's falling off the grid that's coming in here and think they're in Alaska. And they got gates locked up, and here we come, threatening on private property and all that. And if I have that flyover, and it's current, they come in here. Because they're supposed to report $1,000 improvement over to the assessor every year.
Well, I would say we'll make it work, so if you wanna go ahead and schedule.
You want me
get
to
on
do
the
it?
schedule.
You want me to take the lead on, talk to Craig,
Yeah, you can take it.
and say that we want it, or whatever? And then if I'm not here, you're gonna have a backup. Like, you're just gonna have a contact after being January 1 that works with this guy.
Just give him your cell.
Hey,
Yeah, okay.
feet by fire.
He started it, he's gotta finish it.
That's right.
I started.
Ernie Destin's not a quitter.
Yeah. And then you'll be their follow-up? You're a good girl, because you're going to have your hands full anyway.
Well, I mean, hopefully someone down there can help me. Ernie?
Yeah. All right. Just so we got it in the works, but we're going to try to do it. So I can contact Craig and say, if this is the money, this is exact, I'm going to see the contract. And we're going to do it,
Yes.
and then see what it is up front or whatever
Yes.
on payment. I think the last time, John, we had to pay half up front, right?
I wasn't here in 18.
Was you not?
No, I didn't start.
That
till
sounds
20.
right. I wasn't on, but I was watching, so I think it was.
I thought we had, yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't here then.
your twin was. or
No.
whatever.
No. Mercy. Before this place rocks,
John's qualified.
I'm gonna have to get my gavel out. I quit that.
All right,
We need a motion to that effect, please.
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we put Ernie in charge of getting this started and we'll come up with funding.
Can you state that amount for the record again?
All right, the dollar amount stated according to this contract, which will be verified with Craig Fry with Thrasher, is $50,358. And from the discussion today, that the entities involved, all different offices, which the commission has set 4.
Yes.
So the dollar amount for each office would be approximately $12,500. And I will talk to Craig, any changes that happen, we're in agreement, it's 4-inch imagery,
Yeah.
$77 a square mile. Right.
What's the difference in the 3 and the 4?
Actually,
I know
it's
it's the
not,
price
it's
one.
$19,000.
But I mean, what is the difference of the view?
Actually, I'm used 3, so I can't state by using 3, but another inch would make a big difference. But having the update and a 4 would be wonderful. Don't want to ask for too much.
Thank you.
Okay.
So that motion's still on the floor. Any further discussion, clarifications, anything from legal counsel or the clerk?
Yes, sir.
The 4 entities that, and we still have to approach the sheriff's department, but the 4 entities that I believe, and I think all of us seem to believe should be committed towards this project are as follows: the county commission, the sheriff's department, 911, and Homeland Security, as well as the assessor's office, each for a quarter. That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you
All
for your
those
time,
against?
gentlemen. This is
Motion does
something
carry.
that needs to be done, but I'm
Yes, sir.
glad to
Thank
see you stepping up on it. So thank you.
You're even on time. I'm proud of you, Ernie. Okay, we're joined here this morning by Mr. Wood from the Dixie Missionary Baptist Church. Mr. Wood, I believe, started with you, Clark Painter, is that correct? And of course, the church is located in Dixie. And Clerk, if you'd like to begin, and then I'm going to ask Director McGinnis. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Wood first, if you'd like to just refresh the other commissioners and everybody for the public sake of what we've talked about so far and what your proposal is.
All right, well, I'm really the last official of the Church of Dixie. I'm deacon, trustee, treasurer, clerk, custodian. We've had, I guess, the last number of election cycles has been the polling place. And we haven't had any services there for about 3 years now. But I've tried to keep the doors open, and it's getting a little more than I can handle. We've had some good damage on the roof. It's not severe. I got up and did what repair I could. The furnace needs a fan motor, things like that. So to continue to have it as a polling place and really an outreach to the community in West Virginia County, I'd like to donate the facility to the county. And that way we can continue to use it. I know John McGinnis has been down to look at it, and he, to me, seemed pretty favorable when he was there, when I went through the church with him. We have an adjoining fellowship hall that has a functional kitchen. So, you know, that could be in play also. So, like I said, I just formally want to donate the church to the county.
Did you all receive the pictures that John took? Okay, do you care to find those real quick and send to me and show them to them, and I'm gonna pull up some information, I have some questions for legal counsel.
You looking for the deed?
Have you pulled that?
Huh.
Have you pulled the deed on
No.
that yet? Okay. Yeah.
The question I would have, sir, does the church actually own the property?
Yes, but we have a deed for the property.
Okay. And who did you obtain the property from?
It was in the 60s when it was bought,
Okay.
but I'm not sure who it was from.
My only concern, of course, obviously, there are steps you have to go through that are different when you transfer a church property, even to the county commission. But my main concern would be, sometimes those old deeds have reverters in them. Meaning if it's not used for church, it goes back to the original land. And you probably, I probably wouldn't get that waived, but
It doesn't even have the book and page of the deed on the property. I mean, either way, it is the trustees of the First Baptist Church of Dixie.
it probably doesn't because it's non-taxable. So they didn't add all that stuff.
Yeah. Can you pull off legal description? When you're, I've got the legal description right here.
What do you mean?
Pull on your website, the IDX. Well, there's a description options, so. You have those pictures?
I'm working on it.
No, you're fine, you're fine. You have any questions for Mr. Wood or comments or anything? I mean, I think it's a good thing.
What's that district?
That is in District Jefferson.
Jefferson.
If you can go by address, I can give you the address.
Did you say so?
So it is TRS for trustees.
Are there any events that you guys
Well,
hold down
look
there
here.
currently?
It's
Are there any
highly
events that you hold down there
abbreviated.
currently?
No. You know, we've had the fellowship hall, we've had like birthday parties and things like that, but we haven't had any for a couple of years.
Yep.
It's 2 parcels.
Yes, sir. There are 2 parcels.
222407. That's lot 5.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm looking at 6, so lot 5. Well, I mean, it's 417A 47. All the book.
222 is the book.
I'm sorry.
Page
I'll say
is
something
407, but it doesn't have an image.
See how useful
Yeah,
that
I'm-
flyover would be?
Yeah, we need that flyover. I have it right here. It was purchased by PM and Lena, Lenna Mullins, 1967. There is no image. Oh, there is.
Of course, I can't find them.
From what I can see, and I can show it to you, legal counsel, it has the legal description. It was just surface rights. I do not see a report.
Okay. So if you decide to accept it, what happen, because there are no services to read the notice of the transfer, you'd have to publish in the Chronicle for 2 weeks, and then after that, you can do the transfer, and then the affidavit has to be recorded with the deed.
Could we, should the commission agree, be my recommendation, could we approve it conditional that, all the title work
Sure.
is workable? I'm not coming up with the right verbiage right now, but
Good marketable title.
yeah.
Sure.
Because I'm sure it is, but just, that way we, a little bit of a process, just like any kind of real estate sale,
Oh, yeah.
go through that process, but, otherwise, I have not been in the property. I've seen the photographs, and I have, driven by the property and walked around quickly. I think it's a good facility, and I do think it is worth our consideration, and I can show you pictures here. This is the dining hall, Commissioner. Tell me if you can see it, because that's green.
Did you find them?
Yes, sir. It does need a ramp to the dining hall, but I mean, that's fine. The front, well-maintained, wooden floors. That's the one that needs a fan. That's the back of the size. Yes, sir.
Shingle?
That's right. It is shingled. From what I can see, look there, nothing's popping, nothing's peeling, so I think we do have still usable life with the roof.
Like I said, on the fellowship hall, the wind damage was to the ridge cap.
Okay.
And like I say, I got back and nailed down probably 10 foot of it, but some of it's missing, so. But it's not
right
leaking.
before the clay line.
No, I mean, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Now, you got a gas thing there. Is there free gas to the church?
No.
yeah, that's a lot of it there. Not a concern, but.
No, but I'm saying you could probably go back and get free gas.
Even with just being surface.
In most cases, when it's like that, they have to give free gas to the service center.
I got you. And you have been voting in the fellowship hall,
No, we voted for church.
in the church, because it has a good concrete
Front.
ramp that looks like it would be ADA accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have nowhere else to go in that area.
Are you the only trustee?
Yes. Yeah, there's only two active members left, and myself and my daughter-in-law, so that's one of the reasons. When my wife passed away, she was the clerk, treasurer, and then after that, I just said, well, we just can't continue. All we were having were Sunday school classes anyway.
I'll make a motion to accept the gift. As soon as everything pans out on the legal window, we'll take possession.
Okay, that motion's on the floor. Any discussion, any questions? Anything from Homeland Security?
I support it, and also what's gonna help us too is there's a couple of firefighters from Golly River that live right behind the church that is very close to me, and well, they've already said they will help keep an eye on everything and help us with it as well.
Ms. Neff, concerning the insurance, will this affect our rates or anything, or do we more or less have a blanket policy?
Well, I'm sure it'll maybe go up some, but nothing, pennies.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
Once, we can get the titles. When do you want to do the transfer? Next meeting?
I mean, are you acceptable to move now? Do you want some time?
Whatever's your pleasure.
Okay.
I mean, we voted to accept it, so you could just do your closing in your office with him.
Yeah, we'd have to still,
You
it's
still
too late
gotta
to get
do
the Chronicle this week.
The notices.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 3 weeks, at the earliest, probably 4 weeks.
Okay. Well, we could
Can you
just,
handle that? The notices in the Chronicle, help him with
Bobby
that?
can do it.
Okay, Bobby can do
Yeah,
it.
we've got a couple of churches we're doing, basically in the same situation of transferring to other churches.
we need to bring it back to a meeting or just approve it to close it when it can?
Assuming that there is no issue with the title, we can set a closing.
Okay.
And I'll just report back at the meeting after we do it.
Can you do that title search being the council of the commission?
Sure. I'm going to quit the commission.
Is that a, not to put you on the spot, but is that a charge that the commission needs to keep in mind in this?
No,
Okay. Is that just part of our?
that's part of what you pay me to do.
Okay. I don't have any objection either way, but I just wanted to
Oh,
run
if that's
through
the
that
case,
scenario. These guys might, but I was just trying to figure out where we were at.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
The contents of the church,
Yes, sir.
is that something you would want to retain, like the pews,
Yes, sir.
things like that?
Yes, sir.
Because I've had a couple of churches come in and I've donated things to them,
Mhm.
the coffee urn and stuff, and some of the stuff in the fellowship hall. And then we had a mural that was crocheted, there was a lot of something. And the lady that did that, her daughter wanted that, so I took it down and gave it to April
Sure.
Blankenship.
Sure.
And there's a lady, there's a stained glass shadow box behind the pulpit. I don't know if you saw that, the pictures or
Yes, sir.
not. Her daughter wanted that, so I've had her sons come in and look about taking that down and giving it to her. So,
Is there a window behind that, or will a window
No.
have to replace it?
no, it's just a wall.
Oh, okay, so it's not actually to the exterior of the building.
No, it's on the inside behind.
So it's just lit.
Yeah, it has fluorescence.
My recommendation would just be, content-wise, appliances and pews, really. Anything else, I don't think that the county would have true use for.
These are constitutional issues. Anything that has a religious aspect to it probably should take possession.
Yes,
They should retain that.
yes. And would like to see that go in the community and other church facilities and stuff
Yeah,
like
that,
that.
well, see, like, there's a piano, a pulpit,
Mhm.
ordinance, a communion table, things like that. If I could find another church that would like to have those.
That would be in our best interest. So actually, yeah, we would support
Okay.
that. And even if it was after closing, do we have any problem storing it until they could
No.
find a home?
Okay.
Okay, so it's not like there's major rush on that either, but yeah,
Okay.
as timely as possible. But pews and appliances and,
Since we're using it for emergency shelter, we'll probably keep the appliances in.
Yes. yes. And then, are there like folding tables and chairs in the fellowship hall?
Yeah, they're still there.
What's your opinion on that?
They seem to have everything they need.
Do you have any plan for those items, or
not
they would be acceptable to stay?
Yeah.
Okay.
A
Is
lot-
that what you
lot-
would prefer?
A lot
Yes,
of
'cause
folding
if-
chairs and.
Because like you said, there's nothing else down there, so if we need to make that emergency shelter, everything's there and ready to go for us.
You have a picture of the pulpit.
Actually, I don't think so. I have no pictures. Let me do it this way.
I didn't recognize you.
That's,
Won't mention it.
that's all right.
Yeah, Matthew Taylor were pretty enthused about it.
Yes, they will, because they'll help us.
Including if it didn't have a crossover or something.
Oh, yes.
Well, this is yours.
I'm going to school.
Keep asking, where you going to go?
Guy working, can make him shake his head. Yeah, so he said, we told him last night to put it over. He comes out. I had the school board on me at 7 o'clock last night.
Are there any other questions or comments? Maybe if we could clarify them in your motion, if it's okay with you, that anything non-religious, including tables, appliances, chairs, and pews, is all the contents that we want to retain.
And we could also amend that to say, if he would have a question, he could call, ask him, and say, do
Absolutely.
this, work with John.
Yes, please.
And yeah, you have my number, so I can
Again,
come down there
contact.
anytime.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we do it.
Okay, and should this all work out, do we want to consider this a community center, strictly a emergency shelter, other than elections, of course?
Well, let's just take it first, and we'll figure out.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing nothing else, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry, and Mr. Wood, we do appreciate your willingness to work with the county and look forward to keeping a resource in the community there and hope it's beneficial to everybody around.
Yeah. Well, I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I paid my taxes.
Very good. I've got a ticket right here with me.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
A few items I wanted to go over. We approved that as long as there was no commitment from the county, the trail letter of support that was due for the Meadow River Recreational Corridor Master Planning. This was a letter that was directed to the New River Gorge Regional Development Authority and Executive Director, Ms. Belcher. And we, basically, the letter states that Nicholas County has significant interest in the recreational asset of the Meadow River watershed and trail. We look forward to participating in the development and implementation of the plan to enhance the world-class recreational resources that exist in the Meadow River Valley and support their application for planning funds. So there's no commitment from the county, so I did submit that as signed back to the Meadow River Trail Alliance. That's the original, so I'll hand that to Clerk Painter to put on the record. I can ask you, that's just a question. I would like to request, Director McGinnis, I would like to request a short executive session, keeping the commission, Clerk Painter, Administrative Assistant Neff, Director John McGinnis, so we can get him back in here, and legal counsel concerning pending legal matters. We could have a motion to that effect pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4. That motion is on the floor. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, it is 10:26 a.m. Again, only those stated, please retain in the room. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. We do stand in executive session.
And you won't be taking any action either on that.
Okay, it is 11:15 a.m. No decisions were made during executive session. Is there anyone that would like to make a motion to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4? Motion's on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. The commission does have a real estate matter that they need to discuss that I need to recuse myself from. So what I would like to do is recuse myself from the meeting.
You already recused yourself on this issue.
I continue my recusation. And that being said, until the end of the discussion, executive, whatever you all do, I'd like to appoint Commissioner Chapman as the acting president of this meeting.
I'll make a motion. Did I make a motion? Oh, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Sorry, you're gonna go out.
State who all you want in here.
Legal counsel, Bobby, and us. I'd like to reconvene this meeting of today, October 16, 2024. We would like a motion to come out of executive session, and note there was no decisions made in executive session.
I'll make a motion that at 11:48 a.m. we come out of executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
I'd like to thank you.
Yeah, that's better. Block from the wood.
It's quieter.
That's more fun. Okay. Let me reshuffle myself.
Is that Article 25, they put me in charge, is that what it's called?
25th Amendment.
25th
Yeah.
Or
Amendment?
26th.
25th.
25th.
Okay,
But I'm not Joe Biden.
you're go.
Okay, so that being said, everything on the agenda has been addressed. Nothing I see on the side. Is there any other business before commissioners' comments? Are there any commissioners' comments?
I would like to take a moment to thank Nettie Levacy PSD for jumping on the amazing break they had and working through the night. And I know it inconvenienced a lot of people, but those guys really worked hard, brought in some other equipment. Joe Humphreys was a big help to them, and they jumped on it as quickly as they could. And I'd just like to commend Nettie Levacy PSD for coming out of the hole that they're working their way out of, and they're doing a good job so far.
Was that last week?
Yes.
Yes.
That's it?
Yep.
Oh, just want to remind everybody that we've approved, we've stated that trick or treat will take place on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. We've had an outpour of support for the hurricane victims down south, multiple locations, and just a big thank you to everybody that's made any sort of contribution, whether it be sharing posts, helping deliver stuff, bringing stuff down directly. It's been huge. I know just in our location, we had a guesstimate that we sent out about $100,000 worth of stuff.
Wow.
That's all I got. That's it.
I don't have any. Surprise, surprise. With that being said, do we have a motion to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission? Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024, and it is 11:52 a.m.
Motion.
Motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry, and we are adjourned.